Well, all the coward boys used to steal. This stealing thing is big in Vrindavan. Krishna is the biggest, blackest thief of the whole gang. He's a gang leader. He's like a god, a Don or something. Called the Don. The big mafia guy is called the Don. The Godfather. He was a leader. He said, "Come on, boys, let's steal," and they were right into it. There weren't any boys who were not into stealing. They either stole from others or stole from it. They were like compulsive thieves. They would either steal from the neighbors, steal from their mothers, or steal from each other. One thief Prabhupada said there's no honesty among thieves. Prabhupada makes a joke on one tape. He said one group of thieves, bank robbers, they got together. They knocked off a bank and got 10 lakhs. They went back to their hideout and they put all the money on the floor. And then one of the thieves says, "Now listen," and the thieves started arguing. "I want this, I want that, I want this gold, I want these necklaces we got from the bank lockers. They were fighting over bangles and necklaces they ripped off from the bank, or stole from the bank, robbed from the bank. Then the leader of the thieves says, "Listen, hey, calm down, boys. Let's divide this wealth honestly." Let's divide this wealth honestly. And Prabhupada said there's no honesty among thieves. So he used that analogy to describe the modern people in the material world. Because the Upanishads, Isa Upanishad is telling something very important. Isha vasyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagatena tyaktena bunjita madgrihad kasi swidanam. Everything in this world, every object, every tree, every mineral, every diamond, every gem, everything of value and everything in this entire world is owned and controlled by the Lord. One should therefore only accept that which is set aside at his quota and not take more, knowing full well who it belongs to. It all belongs to Isha Vasya. It all belongs to Parameshwara Sri Krishna. And so people are ripping Krishna off. They're stealing his oil, they're stealing his gold, they're stealing everything, using it for Maya. They're not using it for Krishna. So everyone in this world is a thief. So they get punished by the laws of nature. Well, the coward boys used to steal each other's lunch bags. When a boy came to understand that his lunch bag had been stolen, the other boys would throw the lunch bag further away to a more distant place. And those standing there would throw it even further. So that, "Hey, where's my lunch bag? Is this your lunch bag? Yeah, give me my lunch bag." So he would run to get it, and, "Oh, here. And they would throw it 10 yards to the other guy. Hey, and then he would run, "You rascal. Hey," he'd run, "Hey, I'm hungry, give me my lunch bag. I got some good stash in there. You don't know what I have in there. I know my mother has some special things in there." So, "You want your lunch bag?" And then somebody would, like a football, somebody would run, another coward boy would run 20 meters further down, he would throw it. On this way, the coward boys get a lot of exercise, chasing their lunch bags. When the proprietor of the lunch bag became disappointed, the other boys would laugh. "Ha ha ha ha! I want to get my lunch bag. I want my lunch bag. Ha 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 ha!" Then so the thieves would laugh, and the boy who owned that lunch bag, what would he do? He would cry. And then the bag would be returned. So this crying program has been around for a long time. When you can't get what you want, or you want to get what you had, then you cry. The coward boys used to steal musnanta, each other's articles. One boy would steal another's food container and take it to a distant place. Oh, this is funny, Vishnu. This is really funny. Because the Bhagavatam just says, and other Puranas, they describe other aspects. Bhagavatam says one boy which seems innocent enough and not so, you can say, nasty or whatever. One boy would throw it to another. Okay, so finally, without much effort, you get your lunch bag. You run around a little bit and cry, you finally get your lunch bag back. But they were a little bit more notorious than that. So one boy would steal another's food container or his tiffin, and he would take it to a distant place. And he would hide that food tiffin, that lunchbox, under a tree which was surrounded by thorn bushes and red ants. And as you know, there's a difference between red ants and black ants. Black ants worship Krishna, and they're sweet. They love sweets, and they don't bite you. They just kiss you. They crawl on you. But red ants are passionate. Anybody wears red dresses or pink dresses, it means they're passionate, lusty, greedy. This is the color of lust and greed, is red and pink. So the red ants, they don't like sweets at all. They like mustard oil. They like hot things. And they like to fight. The warring ants are the red ants. They beat each other up. They have fraternal wars. Very interesting. You hide the boy's lunch tiffin under a tree surrounded by thorns, and at the base of that tree, because ants often like to make their homes in the base of trees, in the roots. And there's all red ants. So you put the lunch bag and lunch tiffin on top of an anthill. And now what is, in order to get and what it says. When the boy whose lunch bag was stolen tried to retrieve it, so when the boy would crawl in, in order to get it, he had to crawl through the sticker bushes. When he picked up his lunchbox, it would be covered with red ants. And he's biting him and stinging him like anything, and they really sting when they bite. Sometimes Krishna would go to a distant place to see the beauty of the forest. Then all the other boys would accompany him, saying, "I shall be the first to touch Krishna, I shall touch Krishna." In this way they enjoyed life by repeatedly touching Krishna. Well, that's certainly a good way to enjoy life. Always stay in touch with Krishna. Isn't it? Kirtaniya sadhari. That's the way to always stay in touch with Krishna. Satatam kirtiyanto mam. Touch Krishna with our ears. Touch Krishna with our tongue. Then we can touch Krishna with our hands. But until we touch Krishna, until we contact Krishna with our purified mind, tongue, and ears, then we can never embrace Krishna. Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Graham Indre Sevan Mugehi Jiva Do Swayame Vasparatida. Krishna Spurti, Krishna Darshan, Krishna embracing, Krishna Lingata, Prema Lingata. To embrace Krishna, one must be in love with Krishna. And one becomes in love with Krishna when one offers his heart and his mind and his ears to his holy name, serves Krishna's name with his tongue, Sevan Mugehi. So they would enjoy life by repeatedly touching Krishna. Samsprishya remire. I will touch him. No, I will. All the boys would be differently engaged. Some boys blew their flutes, others blew bugles made of horn. Some imitated the buzzing of the bumblebees. And others imitated the voice of the cuckoo. Some boys imitated flying birds by flying after the birds' shadows in the ground. Some imitated the beautiful movements and attractive postures of the swans. That's pretty wild. Like a swan, the swan's neck goes like this, down like that, comes out of its body, goes down like that. So it kind of go like, use their arm or something and walk like this, try to walk like graceful movements like a swan. Some would sit down with the ducks sitting silently. Others imitated the dancing of the peacocks. Some boys attracted young monkeys in the trees. They jumped into the trees imitating the monkeys. They made faces at the monkeys. They made faces like the monkeys would make. And others would jump from one branch to the other. That's even a common Lila, even today at Radhakund. You see the Brijvasi boys, which are kind of like monkeys themselves. But they go, they're always interacting with the monkeys. The monkeys lunge into them and they lunge into the monkeys. The monkeys, They go, ooh. It's really, ever seen it? It's wild. And sometimes the monkeys run away from the boys, and sometimes the monkeys get fierce and the boys run away. Especially little ones, they loved it. That is Lila with the monkeys. It's kind of like Veer or Rasa or something. So the boys would climb in the trees and they would jump from one tree branch to another, like monkeys do. Some boys went to the waterfalls and crossed the river, jumping with the frogs. Then when they saw their own reflections in the surface of the water, they would begin to laugh. They would also condemn the sounds of their own echoes. They would go to some cave and say, "Hey you," and it's, "Hey you." So they condemn their own voices. In this way the cowherd boys play with Krishna, the source of Brahman, etc. It says here, Vishnu Chakravarti says they blew bugles, made a buffalo horn, they chased the shadows and they pulled the tails of the baby monkeys. You notice it says baby. Baby monkeys just go, ooh, 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 and run to their mother. They didn't pull the tails of the male monkeys. That's a bad move. And these are kids. These are 5-year-old kids. The monkey weighs as much as them. They weigh about 30 kilos. The monkey weighs 30 kilos. But the monkey's a lot stronger. They got arms. Their arms are bigger than me. I mean, it doesn't say much, but all day long they're lifting weights, lifting their own body weight, jumping. There's wild little characters. Rhesus monkeys. But listen how friendly they were, these monkeys. They were too tight with these monkeys. The cowherd boys would climb the trees by grabbing the tails of the monkeys hanging from the branches. Those are pretty supportive monkeys. Pretty tolerant. If somebody grabs our tail, we won't be very tolerant. Right? They grab our shika and try to climb the tree. They leaped after the frogs into pools of water, which were created by the cascading waterfalls. Upon seeing their reflections on the water, they would laugh heartily. Raising their arms, the boys would shout loudly in a playful mood. Then they would curse their echoes, saying, "Are!" They would find some abandoned well, and then they would say, "Hey, hey, hey!" They would curse their own echoes. "Are! Ah! Who is that speaking?" Hearing a single syllable echo back, the boys would become angry. The boys would say like this. They would go into a well. They would curse their echoes, saying, "Ha ha! Are! Are!" Then they would hear a single syllable echo back. The boys would become angry and say, "What is this?" Then the echo would reply vibrating, "Re, re, re." And the boys would say, "Today you will die." And this way they would curse again and again, and it would never come to an end.